The Missing, Chapter 2. The very next morning, Mr. Earl Weathers, the janitor of the building, comes for his daily walk at around 7 a.m. In the morning, he collects the garbage from the garbage chute area and checks all the floors for additional cleaning and maintenance. He starts from the fourth floor first and works his way down to the ground floor. Arlene was quite close to the janitor. They spoke almost on regular basis. Earl knocks on 204 but nobody answers even after knocking several times. Earl did not grow suspicious as Arlene had a habit to go on trips to historical places and collects old artifacts regularly. There was a faint noise Earl heard while leaving, which sounded like bones breaking, but when he put his ears to the door, there was no noise at all. Earl leaves going on his rounds. When he reaches the lobby, he sees the building manager coming in, along with a quite young and beautiful lady. Welcome to Apollo Towers, says Mr. John McKenna to Miss Ramona Winters. Ramona is a colleague and friend of Arlene, and she has come to spend a week with her. Arlene had informed the manager just in case she has to leave for any urgent appointment. Ramona tried to call Arlene, but her phone was unreachable. Hence, she contacted the manager for assistance. The manager guides Ramona to Arlene's apartment, and when no one answers from the knocking, the manager opens the door with his extra key. And as he opens the door, it's all calm and quiet. Also, there is no wind in the apartment. And it was quite strange for Ramona as Arlene had a habit of keeping all the windows open. But all the windows were shut tight. Well, everything seems to be in place, says the manager. But the main concern is I'm not able to reach her mobile, and we were supposed to meet today and start our day, replies Ramona. She might have gone out on one of her trips, you know how Arlene is, says the manager. Ramona reluctantly says okay to the manager and then he leaves for his work. Ramona now starts unpacking her stuff, all the while trying to call Arlene. She opens two windows in the living room and goes to the kitchen and starts to make some coffee. And all of a sudden, she hears a large noise and quickly runs to the living room to check as what had happened. She finds both the windows are closed at the same time. This was very weird for Ramona as she clearly remembers locking the latch on the window. She opens both the windows again so as some fresh air could come into the apartment. And all of a sudden, a picture frame falls from the rack behind her. She picks up the picture frame and finds out it's a picture of herself and Arlene on the day of the college outing last year. Arlene and Ramona have been friends for over 15 years, and she cared for Arlene very deeply. After the divorce, Arlene became very lonely, but Ramona was there by her side through thick and thin, always. Ramona decided to wait for 24 hours and then perhaps lodge a police complaint if she is not answering her calls. The coffee is done. She pours a cup and orders a pizza as she was not feeling like cooking today. The pizza arrives within 30 minutes. She goes down to the lobby to collect it and comes back up and tries to open the door to 204. But the key stopped working. No matter how hard she tried, she could not open the door. All of a sudden, she heard Arlene's voice coming from inside the apartment, like a whisper saying, "No, no, no, stay away from me." Ramona starts pushing the door harder, trying to go inside. And when she finally manages to do it, she does not find Arlene anywhere inside the apartment. Ramona went through every square inch of the apartment but does not find any proof of Arlene being inside the apartment. She decides to call the police just to make them aware about the situation and lodge a complaint. The police arrives at the scene, and by coincidence, it's the same pair of cops who attended Arlene's disturbance call last night. But as usual, they did not find anyone in the apartment. Since both the calls were so similar, Steve Bishop, one of the senior cop amongst the two, decided to take Arlene down to the station to take a statement and file the complaint. Ramona wanted to file a missing persons complaint as nobody knew where Arlene was, but as it was not more than 24 hours, a missing persons complaint could not be filed. The officers told Ramona to wait at least 24 hours before they could register the case. Ramona decided to go back to the apartment, and while she was going out, the senior cop shares his personal phone number to her. It seemed Steve took a bit of shine to Ramona and wanted to help her in any situation. He also decided to drop her off at the apartment as a friendly gesture. She enters the building and comes face to face with Earl. "Hey, any word from Arlene?" asks Mr. Weathers to Ramona. Ramona replied no, and it's too early to push in a missing persons complaint. "I understand," replies Earl. "I guess we need to wait and find out what has happened to her," adds Mr. Weathers. Ramona agrees to it and she goes to the stairs to the apartment. As she enters the hallway towards 204, it started getting colder and darker. She feels something is near her and constantly looking at her from every direction. It was very eerie for her, and she started running towards the apartment, and the key was stuck. She started pushing, banging the door, and it opened. She quickly gets inside and locks the door. It was becoming quite clear that something sinister was at play, and it is somehow linked to Arlene's disappearance. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more in the next chapter. Till then, have a good life. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.